Jai Swapadika Shri Guru Gaur Chandraju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Giraj Govardhanju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Astatersata Shri Sriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Astatersata Shri Sriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Welcome to Sri Chaitanya Saraswati Mission Morning Class. Dandavat. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitangstam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitangscha Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Haribo. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai. This is chapter 11 of the Antya Lila. This is the second volume. And the chapter is about the passing of Haridas Thakur. Text number 101. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Haribo. Jai Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Ki Jai. Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Eita kahilo Haridasa Vijay Jahara Shravane Krishna Druta Bhakti Hai. Thus I've spoken about the victorious passing away of Haridas Thakur. Anyone who hears this narration will certainly fix his mind firmly in devotional service to Krishna. Isn't that astonishing? At Purushottam Kshetra, Jagannath Puri, there's a temple of Tota Gopinath. If one goes from there to the sea, he can discover the tomb of Haridas Thakur still existing. Every year on the date of Ananta Chaturdashi, there is a festival to commemorate the passing away of Haridas Thakur. At the same place, deities of Nityananda Prabhu, Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu, and Advaita Prabhu were established about 100 years ago. A gentleman named Brahmaravara from Kendrapad in the province of Orissa contributed funds to establish those deities in the temple. The management of the temple was under the Tota Gopinath Goswamis. Haribo. This temple was later sold to someone else, and this party is now maintaining the Seva Puja of the temple. Near this temple and the tomb of Haridas Thakur, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur constructed a small house called the Bhakti Kuti. In the Bengali year 1329 or 1922, the Purushottam Mat, a branch of the Gaudiya Mat, was established there. In the Bhakti Ratnakar, it is stated, Srinivasa Sigra Samudrera Kuligela Haridasa Thakurera Samada Dekila Bhumite Padiya Kaila Pranati Vishtara Bhagavata Gana Shri Samadhi Sanidhane Srinivase Stira Kaila Shashneha Vachane Puna Srinivasa Shri Samadhi Pranamiya Je vilapa kailata shunile dravehiya. Srinivas Thakur quickly ran to the seashore. When he saw the tomb of Haridas Thakur, he immediately fell down offering prayers and almost fainted. The devotees present there pacified him with very sweet and affectionate words. And Srinivas again offered his obeisances to the tomb. Hearing of the separation that Srinivas expressed in his lamentation at the tomb of Haridas Thakur makes one's heart melt. Very, very heavy. The worst kind of pain, as I said, is the separation of the devotees. Text 102. Chaitanyara Bhakta Vatsaya Ihate Jani Bhaktavancha Purna Kailanyasi Shiromani. From the incident of Haridas Thakur's passing away and the great care Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took in commemorating it, one can understand just how affectionate he is towards his devotees. Although he is the topmost of all sannyasis, he fully satisfied the desire of Haridas Thakur. Sheshakale dilatane darshana sparshana tare kole kari kaila apane nartana. When Haridas Thakur was at the last stage of his life, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him his company and allowed him to touch him. Therefore he took the body of Thakur Haridas on his lap and personally danced with it. Apane Shri Haste Kripaya Tare Valudiya Apane Prasadamagi Mahotsava Kaila. Out of his causeless mercy, the Lord personally covered the body of Haridas Thakur with sand and personally begged alms from the shopkeepers. Then he conducted a great festival to celebrate the passing away of Haridas Thakur. But we should never have any doubt about the affection of the Lord. If we get some glimpse of who the Lord is, so the Srimad Bhagavatam begins with the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But later on, we understand something about Vrindavan and about the gentleness and sweet, home-like intimacy of the devotees with Krishna in Vrindavan. So we are to understand how astonishing the Supreme Personality of Godhead is. How affectionate, and yet how great, how independent, and yet how affectionate. Mahabhagavata Haridasa Parama Vidvan Saubhagya Lagi Age Karila Prayan. Haridas Thakur was not only the topmost devotee of the Lord, but also a great and learned scholar. It was his great fortune that he passed away before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Of course, Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport that the most important science to know is the science of getting out of the clutches of material nature. And anyone who knows this science must be considered the greatest learned person. So when he says he's a great and learned scholar, of course he knows these things. Chaitanya charitra e amritera sindhu karnamana triptakare jara akabindu. The life and characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are exactly like an ocean of nectar, one drop of which can please the mind and ear. Excuse me. Bhava Sindhu Taribare Ache Chara Chitta Shradakari Shuna Se Chaitanya Charitra. Anyone who desires to cross over the ocean of nescience, please hear with great faith the life and characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Rupa Raghunatha Pade Jara Asha Chaitanya Charitamrita Kahe Krishna Dasa. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishnadas, narrate Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. So all of these wonderful pastimes, and then in the last verses, Srila Krishnadas saying, is making a plea. Anyone who desires to cross over the ocean of nescience, of ignorance, foolishness, please hear with great faith the life and characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Excuse me. I do, thanks, Prabhu. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Antya Lila 11th chapter, describing the passing of Haridas Thakur. And chapter 12, the loving dealings between Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Jagadananda Pandit. Very astonishing. A summary of the 12th chapter is given by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Amrita Prabha Bhasya as follows. This chapter discusses the transformations of ecstatic love that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited day and night. The devotees from Bengal again journeyed to Jagannath Puri to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. As usual, the leader was Shivananda Sen, who traveled with his wife and children. Because arrangements were delayed en route and Lord Nityananda did not have a suitable place to reside, he became somewhat disturbed. Thus he became very angry with Shivananda Sen, who was in charge of the affairs of the party, and kicked him in a loving manner, in loving anger. Shivananda Sen felt highly favored to have been kicked by Nityananda Prabhu, but his nephew, Srikanta Sen, became upset and therefore left their company. He met Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri before the rest of the party arrived. That year, a devotee named Parameshwar Das Modaka also went with his family to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Jagannath Puri. The devotees often invited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to eat with them. When the Lord bade them all farewell, he talked very pleasingly with them. The year before, Jagadananda Pandit had been sent to Shachi Mata with prasadam and cloths. This year he returned to Puri with a big pot of floral-scented sandalwood oil to massage the Lord's head. The Lord, however, would not accept the oil, and because of his refusal, Jagadananda Pandit broke the pot in front of the Lord and began to fast. The Lord tried to pacify him and asked Jagadananda Pandit to cook for him. Jagadananda Pandit became so pleased when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted his cooking that he broke his fast. Not only are the Lord's pastimes, his pastimes are so astonishing, but this is also due to the variety of devotees. The devotees' natures are very, very, very varied. And so many different relationships are there. So this is not something, I used to see pictures of heaven when I was a little girl, however they could conceive of heaven from whatever small information is in the Bible. What to speak of the divine plane, there's no reference at all. But it was just looked so boring. Everybody was just there and they all looked the same and everybody's just kind of, and there's not so much. But in the pastimes of Mahaprabhu, the personalities of the different Vaishnavas are so wonderful. Text number 1. Shruyatam nityam giyatam buddha Chinchatam bhaktas Chaitanya Charitamritam. O devotees, may the transcendental life and characteristics of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always be heard, chanted, and meditated upon with great happiness. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Doya Moy, Jaya Jaya Nityananda Kripa Sindhu Jai. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is all merciful. All glories to Nityananda Prabhu, who is an ocean of mercy. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Karuna Sagar, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Gana Kripa Purnantar. All glories to Advaita Acharya, who is also an ocean of mercy. All glories to all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose hearts are always filled with mercy. Attapara Mahaprabhura Bhishana Antara Krishna Raviyoga Das Pure Nirantara. The mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always morose because of a continuously manifested feeling of separation from Krishna. And I heard Srila Guru Maharaj speaking about the pain of separation from Krishna. He's saying this is compared to the bite of a cobra, burning. But he said this is external. The internal feeling is extremely joyful. Extreme happiness of an inconceivable type. But externally, it is being felt, but it is more deep, is this unbelievable joyfulness of union in that separation. So the mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always morose because of a continuously manifested feeling of separation from Krishna. Ha ha Krishna pranana prajendra nandana kaha yaha kaha pana murari vadana. The Lord would cry, "Oh my Lord Krishna, my life and soul, O son of Maharaj Nanda, where shall I go? Where shall I attain you, O Supreme Personality, who plays with your flute to your mouth? Ratri dina edasha svasti nahimane, kashte ratri gonaya swarupa ramananda sane." Excuse me. This was his situation day and night. This was his situation day and night. Unable to find peace of mind, he passed his nights with great difficulty in the company of Swarup Damodar and Ramananda Rai. Eta Goda Deshe Prabhu Rajata Bhakta Gana Prabhu Deki Bade Shabikari Lagamana. Meanwhile, all the devotees journeyed from their homes in Bengal to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Shivananda Sena Acharya Gosai Navadvipe Shababhakta Haila Akatai. Headed by Shivananda Sena, Advaita Acharya and others, all the devotees assembled in Navadvip. Kulina Grama Basi Jatakanda Basi Akatra Milila Shaba Navadvipa Ashi. The inhabitants of Kulinagram and Kanda village also assembled at Navadvip. Nityananda Prabhude Jajapi Agyanai Tatapi Dekite Chalena Chaitanya Gosai. Because Nityananda was preaching in Bengal, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had ordered him not to come to Jagannath Puri. That year, however, he went with the rest of the party to see the Lord. Shivasadi Charibai Shangete Malini Acharya Ratnera Shange Tahara Grihini. Srivas Thakur was also there with his 3 brothers and his wife Malini. Acharya Ratna was similarly accompanied by his wife. Shivananda Patni Chaletina Putralanya Raghava Pandita Chale Jale Sajanya. The wife of Shivananda Sena also came, along with their 3 sons. Raghava Pandit joined them carrying his famous bags of food. Remember about those bags of food?
I do not remember.
His sister Damayanti made so many things, enough for a whole year. And Raghava Pandit is carrying all these in very nice new cloth bags, so much that they're on a separate cart, and they have to have a secretary to organize all of that and give it to Govinda. That was in the... You were kind of a little bit absent in that chapter.
A little bit?
Yeah, remember you were busy or doing this or something rather. Anyways, that was you can hear that chapter. You can hear that is very wonderful.
What is the name of the chapter?
That's like Mahaprabhu takes prasadam. I think it's chapter 10.
Chapter 10.
I think so. Yes, chapter 10. Mahaprabhu accepts prasadam. Very beautiful. Tata Gupta Vidyanidhi Arajata Jana Duitina Shata Bhakta Karilagamana. Vasudev Dat, Murari Gupta, Vidyanidhi, and many other devotees went to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Altogether, they numbered 200 or 300. Shachimati Deki Shabetara Agyalanya, Anande Chalila Krishna Kirtana Kariya. The devotees first saw Shachimata and took her permission. So this is the kind of etiquette among the devotees. We're not like monkeys in the forest. When the devotees are leaving Navadvip, they're all assembled together from Kanda, Kulinagram, all around, and Advaita Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Shivananda Sain, so many are there, Srivas Thakur, and they are all assembled, hundreds of them. But first they go to Shachimata to take her permission to go to see Mahaprabhu. Then in great happiness they started for Jagannath Puri, congregationally chanting the holy name of the Lord. Shivananda Sena Kare Gati Samadana Sabare Palana Kari Shukelanyayana. Shivananda Sen managed the payment of tolls at different places. Maintaining everyone, he guided all the devotees in great happiness. So Gati refers to the different toll booths used by the zamindars to collect taxes in each state. So they had to pass through these booths, even walking along the paths. But the zamindars mean those who are owning any particular piece of land. They would collect taxes along the road. And Shivananda Sen took care of everything. He took care of all the arrangements. Everything, where they would stay in the evening, how they would take their meals, everything. Sabara Shabakarya Karena Dena Vasastana Shivananda Jane Udiya Patara Sadhana. Shivananda Sen took care of everyone and gave each devotee places to stay. He knew all the paths leading to Orissa. So this is hundreds of devotees, and Shivananda arranged for each one of them to have a place to stay. Akadina Shabaloka Gati Yale Rakila Shaba Chadanya Shivananda Akala Rahila. One day when the party was being checked by a toll collector, the devotees were allowed to pass, and Shivananda Sen remained behind alone to pay the taxes. Shabegiya Rahila Grama Bitara Vrikshatale Shivananda Bina Bhashastana Nahimile. The party went into a village and waited beneath a tree because no one but Shivananda Sen could arrange for their residential quarters. So they went to a village and they're just sitting under a tree. in the shade and waiting for Shivananda to sing. Nityananda Prabhu Bhokte Vyakula Hanya Shivananda Gali Pare Vasana Panya. Nityananda Prabhu meanwhile became very hungry and upset. Because he had not yet obtained a suitable residence, he began calling because he had not yet obtained a suitable residence, he began calling he began calling Shivananda, saying ill names. Tina Putra Maruka, excuse me, Tina Putra Maruka Shivara Akanana Aila Boke Marigenu More Vasana Deo Yaila. Shivananda said, it's not arranged for my residence, he complained, and I'm so hungry I could die. Because he has not come, I curse his 3 sons to die. Shuni Shivanandera Patni Kandite Lagila Hena Kali Shivananda Gati Haila Aila. Hearing his curse, Shivananda's wife began to cry. Just then Shivananda returned from the toll station. Shivanandera Patni Tare Kahena Kandiya Putre Sapad Dichena Goshai Vashanapanya. Crying, his wife informed him, Lord Nityananda has cursed our sons to die because his quarters have not been provided. Teho Kali Bauli Kene Maris Kandiya Maruka Amara Tina Putra Tara Balailanya. Shivananda Sen replied, you crazy woman, why are you needlessly crying? Let my 3 sons die for all the inconvenience we have caused Nityananda Prabhu. Atabali Prabhu Pashe Gela Shivananda Utti Tare Lati Mahila Prabhu Nityananda. After saying that, Shivananda Sen went to Nityananda Prabhu, then stood up and kicked him. Anandita Haila Shivai Pada Prahara Panya Shigra Basa Gara Kaila Goda Gare Giya. Very pleased at being kicked, Shivananda Singh quickly arranged for a milkman's house to be the Lord's residence. Charane Dariya Prabhure Bashayalanya Gela Bashadiya Hristalanya Kahite Lagila. Shivananda Singh touched the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu and led him to his residence. After giving the Lord his quarters, Shivananda, being very pleased, spoke as follows. Ajimora Brichakari Angikara Kaila Jaimana Aparada Brichera Yogya Paladiya. Today you have accepted me as your servant and have properly punished me for my offense. Shasti Chale Kripakara E Tomara Karuna Trijagate Tomara Charitra Buje Kona Jana. O my Lord, your chastising me is your causeless mercy. Who within the 3 worlds can understand your real character? Brahmara Durlabha Tomara Shri Charana Renu Hena Charana Sparsha Paila Mora Adamu Tamu Tanu. The dust of your lotus feet is not attainable even by Lord Brahma, yet your lotus feet have touched my wretched body. Ajimora Shapala Haila Janmakula Karma Ajipayinu Krishna Bhakti Artha Kama Dharma. Today my birth, my family, and my activities have all become successful. Today I have achieved the fulfillment of religious principles, economic development, satisfaction of the senses, and ultimately devotional service to Lord Krishna. Shuni Nityananda Prabhura Nandita Mana Uti Shivanande Kaila Prema Alingana. When Lord Nityananda heard this, he was very happy. He rose and embraced Shivananda Sena in great love. Anandita Shivananda Kare Samadana Acharjadi Vaishnavere Dila Vasastana. Being very much pleased by Nityananda Prabhu's behavior, Shivananda Sena began to arrange residential quarters for all the Vaishnavas, headed by Advaita Acharya. Nityananda Prabhura Shabacharitra Viparita Krudahanya Lati Marikare Tarahita. One of Nityananda Prabhu's characteristics is his contradictory nature. When he becomes angry, he kicks someone. It is actually for his benefit. All right, very beautiful pastime. And Nityananda Prabhu, of course, is Lord Balaram. And it was this, Srila Guru Maharaj was saying that in all of the, in the pastimes in Vrindavan, Krishna is, he's talking about how there's so much variety and service and indirect service and direct service. And this is always going on. So in the pasturing grounds, the boys, they get up to all kinds of things, and they start having a game, and there's Nityananda's on one side, and Krishna is on the other side typically, and but Nityananda Prabhu is stronger than Krishna, and so on Krishna's side is suddenly I'm forgetting that cowherd boy. Anyway, he's Sridham or Sudam, I forget now. But anyway, very, very strong. So they're fighting, and if Krishna wins, whoever's side wins, then the others they get to ride on the shoulders of the losing party. But if Krishna's side wins, Balaram will never admit it. He was saying, no, you didn't win. You didn't win. We won. And he will never admit that he was defeated. Anyway, it's very sweet hearing Guru Maharaj telling this. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai, Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj ki Jai, Srila Om Vishnupad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Upadesamrta ki Jai. Okay. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad ki Jai. Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Vacho vegam manasakroda vegam jiva vegam udara pasta vegam etan veganyo vishaheta dira sarvam apimam prativim sasisya atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagra janasangascha lolyam cha sabir bhaktir binashati Utsaha nishchaya dharya tatat karma pravartana sangatyago sato vritte sadbir bhakti prasijyati dadati pratigrahnati guhyam makati prichyati bhungte bhojayate chaiva sadvidam pritilakshanam Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta dikshasti chet pranati bhischa bhajantamisham shushushaya bhajana vigyamananyamanya nindadi shunya hridamipshita sangalabdhya Tishtai Svabhava Janite Vapushascha Doshe Na Prakritatvam Iha Bhakta Janasya Pasye Gangambusam Na Kalu Budbuddha Pena Panke Brahmadravatvam Iha Apagachati Niradharmai. All right. Sat Krishna Nama Charitadi Sitapya Vidya Pito Patapta Rasanasya Narochikanu Kinvadarananudinam Kalushaiva Jushta Swadvikramad Bhavati Tad Gadamula Hantri. Then number 8. Tannama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Smicho Kramena Rasana Manasi Niyojya Tishtan Bhajeta Danuragi Jaganugami Kalam Nayeda Kilam Ityupadesha Sharam. We had a competition that I lost, right?
You lost?
I said I was going to get you some kind of sweet or something, and I forgot about it. Now I remember.
It was in a picture of honey.
So I am in debt.
You're in trouble.
I'm in debt now, and in trouble. Okay, now number 9. So now we have another competition.
What is the competition?
Oh wait, which verse have you memorized now? The last one?
The 6th.
So we're both memorizing number 7.
Okay, until when?
What's today? Tomorrow? No, I am too busy today. Okay, it has to be by Friday.
By Friday, okay. So,
Prepare to die. So this is number 7. We have to memorize that. Okay. Vaikuntaj Janito Varamadupuri Tatrapi Rasotsavad Vrindaranyamudara Pani Ramana Tatrapi Govardhana Radha Kundamihapi Gokulapute Premamruta Plavanat Kuryadasya Virajato Giritate Sevam Vivekinakaha. Okay, this is the verse that we are now studying. Above Vaikuntha is Mathura, where Krishna took birth. Above Mathura is Vrindavan, where Krishna enjoys the rasa dance. Above Vrindavan is Govardhan, where Krishna plays amorously. And above Govardhan is Radha Kunda, where the nectar of Krishna's divine love overflows. What wise soul would not serve Radha Kunda at the base of Govardhan Hill? Okay, now we'll continue to read Srila Guru Maharaj's wonderful commentary, taking us through such a journey in reference to many things, but chiefly Brihad Bhagavatamrita. So these planes are going through the mundane plane of all this different lokas, from the Bhuloka up to Bhuvar, Tapajana, Satyatapajan. Where's that list? Anyway, going up, and then to the topmost plane, and then there's all these different mystical planes, and Svarga, where Indra and the demigods are enjoying so much, and Tapaloka, Janaloka, and Satyaloka, and all these. But these planes are sought via the Aroha Pantha, the ascending method, trying to climb up by gist of one's own power. The various types of yogis and jnanis try to reach these planes meaning above the mundane plane, coming to the lower plane of the non-differentiated and the upper plane of the non-differentiated. The nirvana of the jnanis is oneness with the all-accommodating conception of the absolute Brahma, and the nirvana of the yogis is oneness with the all-pervading conception of the absolute Paramatma. So the jnanis seek the circumference, and the yogis seek the center of this Mayak area. Their aim is Sayuja Mukti, to reach the highest plane and become one with it. And such a stage of life, however, is not permanent. Ye nye ravindaksha vimuktamaninas tvayastra bhavad avishuddha buddhaya aruhya kritrena parang padang tatha patantya do nadrita yushmad angryaya. Vimuktamanina means jnanis and yogis may at some point think themselves to be completely disassociated from the environment, to be completely liberated, but actually this is not possible. They may think they are perfectly independent of the environment, as if in sound sleep. But that sound sleep is not a permanent thing. A reaction will come like that, from that, like a seed, and inevitably that seed will sprout. Tvayasta bhavad avishuddha buddhaya. Their calculation is wrong because they do not count the Lord. Their counting is independent of the Lord. They count only themselves and the environment, and they leave the Lord out. So this is going to bring some reaction in the form of a seed. But the Lord is there to harmonize them both, to keep up the connection between both parties, and they forget that. They cannot understand that. They do not understand that their relationship with the environment is not in their hands. It is in the hand of the Absolute. They just want to get away. They just want to get out of the environment, but they don't know that their relationship with the environment, the center of that is Krishna, and that harmonizes, the relation with Krishna harmonizes everything. So they're wrong. They think, oh, the environment is bad, and I'm good, I'm going away. This is an actual offense. Their position is really that of an organic part, not an independent part of the environment. So we're to harmonize. We are to contribute, to participate, but in a healthy way. That's the problem, that we have been feeling ourselves in the wrong way toward the environment, exploiters. They cannot negotiate independently or discuss or adjust to things independent of the Lord. It's not possible to do that. The Lord has relations with all, and management comes from Him. Whether things are united or separated, closely related or unrelated, all depends upon Him, not on them. So they're thinking, by my own power, I am going to disassociate myself with this environment. And sometimes devotees have this misunderstanding. That the material world is bad. This is all the material world. All around me is material, and I need to go away. No. We are misunderstanding this part of philosophy. This Siddhanta is not saying that. He's saying that everything is divine, and we are to participate as a contributing person. Not this, we've mixed the two things together. What we're leaving is our tendency to exploitation. That's what we're leaving. Tvayasta bhava, because they do not count the Lord, there's a wall between them and the Lord, and they cannot pierce through that wall. They fail to break down this barrier and come in connection with the Lord. And this is in all circumstances. So they commit a great wrong. What is their ultimate position? Aruhya krichrena parampadam. After much trouble, they rise up to the highest point of liberation. But tata patantyado nadra yusmad angrayaha. From there they fall back down again. They're hurled down for their mistake. Of course, devotees and Mayavadis are not the same, or impersonalists are not the same. We can understand that Krishna is there, but we must start realizing that whatever is going on, that cannot go on unless he wants it to. Everything, from the smallest, tiniest leaf, whether it's going, how it's moving, it's all divine. It's completely divine. So we are clearing our eyes to see reality, not thinking, oh, all this is bad and I have to go away. That either I'm going to exploit it or I'm going to hate it. Both of those things are wrong. Right? Right. Because they have no attraction to the Lord, something higher than themselves, they have to come back again to the mundane world. They cannot catch the opposite current, the higher current, the in-carrying current. So the lower current, the out-carrying current, eventually brings them down again. For some time, a long period of time, we may say, they may enjoy a sound sleep in nirvana, but eventually they will have to come down again. This is a very, very important point. We're to harmonize. How to harmonize? To see Krishna. What is Krishna? Sarva karna karnam. He is the cause of everything. He is the knower of everything. He knows the purpose of everything. He knows the purpose of the movement of everything. So we are to harmonize by Sharanagati, by surrender to His will, which is manifesting everywhere. We have to come into harmony with the environment, and then we will see it as something wonderful. But now we have this weird relationship. Either I'm going to exploit you or I hate you. I got to get out of here. You're wrong. You're bad. Both of those things are not correct. The only bad is me. There is an in-carrying current moving throughout everything, Guru Maharaj is saying, that leads us up toward the center, Krishna. And there is an out-carrying current also that takes us away from Krishna. The in-carrying current is service, dedication, and the out-carrying current is exploitation. These are two waves, two sorts of development. These two waves, two sorts of development, are also known as Yogamaya and Mahamaya. Guru Maharaj said, it is Swarup Shakti that is real. What we see as Maya, it's almost non-existent. It's just a negative misunderstanding of Swarup Shakti. So we need to clear our eyes and see what is truth. It's everywhere. It's not that truth is somewhere else. Truth is everywhere. But we cannot see it because of we're little Ravanas trying to enjoy Sita. So we can't see Sita. Guru Maharaj said Ravana couldn't even see her. He just saw some shadowy thing that he thought was Sita. So it is subjective evolution. Subjective evolution means it is within me. The development, the The progress is subjective. It's not something wrong on the outside. Guru Maharaj said, you will seek Krishna consciousness everywhere. Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada said, and you will see that the whole world is full of nectar. In that verse, he's saying, what is that verse? Vrindavani Ramyastane Divyo Vrindavan Ratan Mandiro Manohara. Anyway, it's a beautiful verse. And he's saying, when you can see the pastimes of Radha and Krishna everywhere, you will see that the world, this world, is full of nectar. So let us try to understand this point. Otherwise we are not understanding properly what is Krishna consciousness. Krishna is like over here, way over there somewhere, and I'm over here in this other place. This is not a geographical description. These are planes of consciousness. So who's conscious? I'm conscious. So this is planes of where is my consciousness? So Srila Guru Maharaj was talking about that. And then one disciple said, so all these 14 planetary systems and all these things, this is all inside of the mind? And Guru Maharaj said, yes. These are planes of consciousness. So we have to stretch ourselves a little bit to understand these things properly. Body, mind, and word. I heard this morning, or last night, Guru Maharaj was talking about stani sthitan shrutikatam tanuvan manobhya. Jnane prayasam udapasam namanta eva. He's saying we must, and then jiva, with our body, with our intelligence, our mind, and our words, we must serve the Lord. We have to understand things properly. Otherwise, why are they taking so much trouble to explain things to us? We have to try to stretch that muscle a little bit and give up some prejudiced thought that we thought was something, but if it's wrong, then we need to rectify it. So beyond the plane of renunciation, this is a plane of consciousness reached by the jnanis and yogis, the third plane, the plane of dedication, where all are hankering after the service of the central unit, the central principle Krishna. But don't forget, these are not geographical. This is a plane of perception. It's not a geographical thing. It's how we are seeing things. In the plane of exploitation, under the influence of the out-carrying current, so many leave the interest of the center and seek their own interest. In the plane of renunciation, there is an attempt to disengage from the out-carrying current and remain at rest, but in the plane of dedication, under the influence of the center-carrying current, all seek the one interest, the central interest of Krishna. Everyone moves toward the center to render service to the main principle of the whole existence. All want not to be at rest, but to be utilized. And as far as renunciation, Guru Maharaj was saying, we do not want to starve, but to serve. We're not renunciants. We take what is necessary. It is all divine. We take it with honor. We take it with worship. everything that can come into my hand is made of something higher than I am made out of. It's not that by offering it, it becomes prasadam. It does, but it's not that, but those who are who can see the divine nature of everything, it is already serving Krishna. This is a ritual for us to try to get our head around it. But of course, we're doing that in love. When that is done in love, then it is an offering of love. That is a transcendental thing. But still, we are trying to understand these things. I am not turning matter into spirit. It is already spirit. But I am being reminded of that. That's in the preliminary stage. But later on, there is actual devotional cooking and offering and all of those things in love. That is another thing. But still, we have to understand all these things in gradation. Guru Maharaj said, we must see the whole environment with a mood of reverence. Everything is higher than I am. Not to see that is called Maya. Maya just means you don't see it properly. It's not a thing. Maya is not a thing or a place. It's a misunderstanding. Haribol. Okay, so we'll continue with this tomorrow. Jai Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Shri Upadesamrta Ki Jai. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad Ki Jai. Haribol. Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Nama Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Shri Advaita Chandra Gadadhar Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhakta Raghuna Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasaraguna Jai Gosai Gauri Chadana Vanda Jai Te Vignana Shabistapura Jai Gosai Jamuta Ta Jamuta Ta Tasabara Para Renu Mor Panchagra Dandara Charana Sevi Bhakta Saniva Janame Moreya Pila Jai Gosai Jabe Gaje Koilba Radha Krishna Jai Sapadika Shri Shri Guru Gaur Chandraju Ki Jai. Jai Shri Giraj Govardhanju Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Pari Brajakacharya Astoter Sita Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhansa Pari Brajakacharya Astoter Sita Shri Shriman Srila Bhakti Rakak Shri Dardev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vinda Ki Jai. Sannyasi Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Jai Shri Narottam Shyamananda Srinivas Thakur Prabhu Ki Jai. We just heard about how Srinivas Thakur ran to see the tomb of Haridas Thakur on the side, beside the sea in Jagannath Puri, and became so much overwhelmed. Sad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Shriman Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Saparshad Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Jai Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Tadiya Saka Mat Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswat Mission Ki Jai. Kol Kartal Ki Jai. Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnava Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Bol. Jai Shrimati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Dwadashi Titi Ki Jai. Jai Gurudev Ki Jai.
Jai Shrimati Divya Shakti Didi Ki
Jai.
Jai Damodar Prabhu Ki Jai. Bhima Krishna Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai Kumkund Didi Ki Jai. Ganga Lila Didi Ki Jai. Srila Madhusudana Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Gurudeva.
Dandavat.